What's going on, you guys? So, today's gonna be kind of fun. I'm gonna teach you a little breathing practice that you can use whenever you are stressed, because who's not, right? Whenever, say you have a presentation you gotta do, say you have to go in for a talk you don't want to have, say you know something's coming up, that you want to calm yourself down for a little bit. Well, why is that important to begin with? Like, think about that for a second. Like, all right, let's backtrack. Why do you want to be in a calm but alert, activated state prior to engaging something? Well, let me tell you. If we're overly stressed, you're going to see, people, for example, when I do neurofeedback and I do brain maps and I see people's brainwave activity, when they're super chronically hyper aroused, we're talking like chronic anxiety, we're just like stressing out all the time. They have so much activity throughout their entire brain, right? It's global, just global high beta. So you got so much activity, your brain can't really do anything very efficiently. Like there's too much noise. I hope that makes sense right there. There's too much noise, so you can't really be doing anything efficiently. And your ability to pull resources from the brain to actually like focus, like, so our prefrontal cortex, right? It has a tendency to turn off a little bit or not be as useful or effective if we're chronically stressed. So how do we remedy that? Well, we gotta downregulate that a little bit, right? We want to downregulate the stress, but we also want to activate the prefrontal cortex, which is going to help us make very solid, good decisions, right? Like this part of the brain allows for higher functioning executive processing to be able to focus and pay attention. Like that's where that's found. So there's a lot that goes into that. A lot of the practices that I teach, it's about actually learning how to train those different parts of the brain, different brain waves. Different practices will do things differently in the brain. Okay, and we're talking physical practices, breathing practices, which we're going to do today. I haven't done any of that with you guys yet, so this is fun. Let's get my toes, dipping my toes in that water for the first time with you. I've done like breathing workshops. I've run like Wim Hof seminars at our office and things like that, which are always great. But like, there's so many different techniques out there. We're talking like thousands of different techniques that can, you can start to combine different ones. You can do different inhalations, exhalations, retentions with different time intervals. So it's just so many different ways to play with this stuff. Right now I'm going through a lot of soma breath work, which I find fascinating and so useful. I've been doing that daily and that's been super fun. And I see the changes. I see the way I feel. I see the way I think. It's awesome. It's awesome what you can do with the body without having to resort to anything else besides this, right? But now I'm kind of diverting a little bit. So let's get back on track. Breath work and focus and stress. Okay. So if you're overly stressed, we want to be able to calm that down a little bit. And then we want to activate the prefrontal cortex. Now, mind you, I talked about this in the last video. If you're constantly also not learning how to manage your emotions, express them efficiently, you are repressing and suppressing them. And suppress emotion actually causes a lot of tension in the body, which diverts blood flow, which guess what? Prevents blood flow from going to the brain, making you less efficient, making you less likely, less able to do the things you got to do. So, now that we know, prior to any kind of event, stressful or otherwise, or even if you just want to perform well, say it's before a test, say it's before a game, all you athletes out there, whatever it is, you can do these things, right? You can use breath work, you can do different mind practices, neurosizes, I call them, right? To make yourselves more efficient. So today, we're going to learn how to actually, and I'm combining a few different components here. So just walk through. I really don't want to dive too deep into it because otherwise I'm just going to ramble for a while. I get very geeky about this. So I'm just going to give you the skeleton of what you need. When we breathe, ideally, if we breathe in through our noses, we're telling the body it's safe. Chronic mouth breathers tell the body it's not. In nature, historically, talking like from an evolutionary standpoint, if we were hopping and puffing, we were usually probably running away from a predator, or maybe going into battle. It was a stressful fight or flight situation. Our bodies know that we're breathing in and through our mouths. We're telling the body it's not safe. That's one. So nose breathing, critical. Okay. Second, breathing into the belly. You're gonna hear me talk about this a lot. But breathing into the belly, again, telling the body it's safe. Breathing into our chest all the time. Right? Notice how my shoulders are coming up, my chest is coming out. That's, again, telling the body it's like we're in fight or flight. We are running from something. We are engaged in a fight for our lives. Whatever it is. Breathing into the belly, again, it's diaphragmatic breathing. It also stimulates your vagus nerve, which connects the brain to your gut and other things. It triggers that, and toning that actually, again, makes the body understand that it's safe and sound. So, breathing in through the nose, breathing into the belly. Again, we'll talk about this so much more, but just want to give you the bare minimum today. Now, the inhalation, ideally, you want to do half as long as your exhalation. So maybe I should rephrase that. Your exhalation should be double the amount of time for your inhalation. That's really telling your body, hey, we're good. We're not running from nothing. We're okay. Because when you can do an exhalation, so let's say you're breathing in for a count of 4, you exhale for a count of 8. Say you breathe in for a count of 2, you can exhale for a count of 4. And that's going to be one principle, one component to the kind of breathing that we're doing today. 2. Dr. Andrew Weil. He popularized a particular breathing technique called 4-7-8 breathing. Breathe in for 4, you hold for 7, you exhale for 8. Breath retention helps a lot. And there's a whole other side to this that I'm going to talk about in future videos about actually creating oxygen deprivation in the body, because that actually improves your mitochondrial health. Makes you far more efficient, makes you live longer, makes you much healthier, more robust, more vital, more vitality. But that's another topic for another time. But today, what I want to do is when we're going to be breathing in, you're going to breathe in, you're going to hold, not for that amount of time. You could, you really want to. You don't have to. What we're going to do is you're going to breathe in for 2 seconds. We're going to hold maybe for a count of 4. We're going to exhale. Now get this, I'm going to do more than double. I'm going to exhale for 6. Okay? And we're going to incorporate alternate nostril breathing into this. Alternate nostril breathing. Now, again, without diving too deep into it, because I'm feeling it. Like I could go on for like an hour talking about this, but breathing in through different nostrils actually activates different parts of the brain. So and it's always the opposite. So if you're breathing in through your right nostril, you are activating your left part of the brain, which is more analytical. You're breathing in into your left nostril, you're activating the right brain, which is a more creative, it's a calmer state, right? So your left is actually more activated. In fact, if you breathe in through your right nostril, right, there's studies that show that it increases parasympathetic activity, which is, just a little slight activation, energizes. Energizes. Breathing in through your left nostril, you activate the right, calms you down. By doing both back and forth, you actually sync the two up and you balance them out. That's one. Now you can actually do this for yourselves, depending on what you're trying to do. If you're actually trying to like energize yourself, you can actually just completely cover your left nostril and just continually breathe through your right nostril. That actually stimulates you a lot more. Conversely, if you want to like go to bed, calm down, you can just cover your right nostril, breathe in through your left, and then activate more of the right brain, and that will actually bring you down. alternate nostril breathing, left and right. Now, all we're going to do, can you see that? No. Okay. So all we're going to do, index, middle, right up here, we're going to use our thumb to cover our right nostril, and then we're going to breathe in for a count of 2 into our left, cover, hold for 2, and then slowly breathe out for a count of 6. Now, breathe in for 2, hold for 2, and then you're going to release for 6. And you continue that cycle for 5 to 10 cycles. So you're going to continue that breathing pattern. Left, right, and play with it, right? Again, just as long as you're making sure that your exhalation is at least twice as long as your inhalation, you're good. But what this does is it basically calms you down, calms the body down, calms the brain down. It actually activates, because when you're focused on breathing, you're actually focusing and you're forcing that part of the brain right here to activate more. You're actually getting more beta activity in that area, faster activity, activated activity. You're focused and alert. You're getting more into that while calming the rest of the brain down. I stumble over myself sometimes, but that's what happens. So, and so by consistently also practicing breath work, or like focused breath work in this way, you also train brainwave activity, which is just another fun component to this. So it's like an active form of meditation, right? It's another neurosize again. So there's so many different components to this. I don't want to again dive into every single one, but just like use that practice, use that technique right there, the alternate nostril breathing, or if you're really just needing to stimulate yourself, get yourself more energized or calm yourself down, you can just focus on breathing through one nostril. But again, making sure you're breathing in through the nose. You can breathe out through the mouth, that's fine. When you're just doing basic everyday day-to-day breathing, I'm saying. For this particular exercise, you're breathing in and out through the nose. But always making sure you're breathing in through the nose, into the belly. And then, of course, once your belly is full, you can breathe into the chest. That's fine. But, start there. Start there. These are just principles, tidbits of what's to come. I have so much that I want to talk about, but I'm going to hold back. Anyway. Hope you find that useful. Hope you start applying it. Do it daily. Again, I want you to see these as tools, so that way you can learn, and I want you to have the context there, so that way you can learn how to and when to apply them. Okay? So, with that, guys, much love. Have a wonderful, beautiful day, and peace.